Yo, what's going on, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome to a brand new Locals feature match. Here we are in top 4 of my Locals most recent mega tournament here in the brand new January 2020 format. We've got Bystial Runick facing off against the Horus Bystial Dragon Link deck. And you guys might be able to notice something a little bit different about this particular feature match. I'm recording in such a way that not only I, but you guys can hear the audio from the actual game itself, so you can hear what the players are saying and I can hear what they're saying, get context, things like that. I've been wanting to try something like this for a while, and my current setup for doing feature match doesn't allow me to actually hear the audio from the games, and this is the only way I can do it, using a different method. But I only wanted to do one match like this because I didn't know how people would react to the audio being in the background, kind of how you can hear the players talking at YCS feature matches and stuff. So if you guys like this, let me know. If you don't like it, also let me know. Um, yeah, so we're going to see Bystial Runick versus the Bystial Horus Dragonling deck. And going for a second Hugin after the first one gets impermed here. And if I'm being honest, I did not know that Hugin was a not once per turn, as our Dragonling player is also pointing out. It is kind of dumb. So they will secure a copy of Fountain here regardless, but it is at the cost of discarding an Ash Blossom. And they did have to burn another Runick spell, and that of Freezing Curses. And they're going to go into the SP Little Knight. And leave main, end phase Ecclesia, Secret Effect. Will get to add itself back to hand. I believe they have just Freezing Curses and Ecclesia in hand. And we're also going to see, them pass turn there. And we're going to see, I think I see Imseti in hand, so they're going to go ahead and lead with Imseti. And I'm not sure what card they discarded there, if that was Vision Resonator. Yeah, they do have to draw first. That is true. Yeah, and you see, this is another sort of like interesting thing about doing the feature matches this way is that, again, you can hear what the players are saying, and that actually makes my life a little easier in certain cases. But yeah, the Vision Resonator will hit the grave, and that's going to go ahead and search out for Crimson Gaia. And then they'll activate Crimson Gaia, and that is going to go ahead and search out another copy of that same Resonator, the Vision Resonator. Also, I have to record the actual video itself, and I have to basically downgrade the quality in doing so. So it's normally a 4K video getting downgraded to 1080. Shouldn't be such a big deal. So you guys might notice a slight quality difference. King Sarcophagus will activate here. No response from the SP. Which, I mean, just have to banish a monster anyway, so it's not like they could do anything about it anyways. Discard Happy, and they're going to dump another Imseti. So my guess is they're probably just on 3 Imseti and a Happy. Maybe they're also playing Dalmatef or Q. That's what I call the Earth one because I don't know how to consistently pronounce the name, right? It's like Kabenehunsef, Kabenun. Yeah, see, I don't even want to try. And they do have the one of Magnamut, though, coming in clutch here. That's going to special summon itself by banishing Hugin from the graveyard. And then we'll see them special summon Vision Resonator since they do control a level 5 or higher Dark monster. And no response here from our Runick player. They're going to be able to freely Synchro into a level 8 Synchro here. And they're going to go for a Cell Synchron. And they'll chain that Freezing Curses and negate the effect, and then I think they'll banish 2 or 3 from the top. Sarnir, and Vision. So 2 Sarnirs gone, and that might actually be all of their Sarnirs. Fountain on a new chain, going to go ahead and bottom 3 spells to draw 3 cards. They did draw Ash Blossom there. That's pretty clutch. And they do not have a Baron play now. They've just got White Dragon. They've got Talents in hand, which is still currently dead at this current point. I'm sure they'd love to draw 2 cards right now to kind of keep up with the Runick deck. But they will banish. Wait a second. Did they just... Am I tripping? Did it... It looked like he banished that Vision Resonator from hand. Unless... And actually, are we seeing an OTK right here? We are seeing an OTK. That's kind of crazy. Because I know he had a Vision Resonator in grave that he discarded, then one he synchroed off with. Okay. Yeah, no, it just, from what I saw there, it just looked like he had banished one from hand. But yeah, that's the one thing about this deck. They can just put a ton of big bodies on field really quickly. Bystials, Chaos Summons, and the Horus stuff. Going to be able to quickly go for game there, and they just said they did not have a Bystial to block damage there. But they did draw pretty well. But yeah, now we're going to go ahead and take a quick jump to game 2. Alright, so in game 2, we are going to see the Bystial Runick deck take first. They do have Ecclesia, Quem, Saronir, Destruction, and the Bystial Lubellion. And can barely make out the hand of our Dragon Link player here. Bystial's going to be pretty solid in this matchup. We're going to see them normal summon the Guiding Quem, or the Crack Rock Craig, as my friend Dan likes to call it. Couldn't tell you why. But going to see him dump a card that mentions Albaz, or is Albaz, I believe. So we're going to dump the Bystial Aluber, and I couldn't tell you what that card does, because I'm pretty sure this is the only deck that I've ever seen it played in. And they're going to go ahead and, oh yeah, also important to note, a lot of these level 4 sort of cards that we've seen in branded decks, they are tuners. So, again, it just helps with the synchro climb. And they're going to go for a Hugin. And they're going to discard Ecclesia. And they're going to chain a Magnamut. There's that one of Magnamut coming in so clutch here again. And I'm not sure what effect they were using there. Is Chainlink 2? But, yeah, the Magnamut coming down to stop whatever that effect was. And new chain Magnamut resolving to get the end phase search. Now they're going to pitch Bystial Lubellion, which will grab a copy of their own Magnamut. Yeah, so it looks like they have King Sarcophagus, Branded Regained, Saronir, and looks to be Imseti. So they'll special summon their own Magnamut, banishing the Bystial Aluber, activating its effect. That's going to go ahead and completely resolve. Now we're going to go ahead and see Synchro 6 for probably, okay, going for Coral Dragon here, so they could get some value out of that effect there if they wanted to, but they're just going to go ahead and synchro off with it into a Synchro 12, Legacia effect, and Coral Dragon effect. So they'll get to draw 2. The draw power in this deck is absolutely absurd. Looks like they have Fountain, Tip, Quem, and a Saronir still in hand. They'll fire off the tip, and they're going to lose one card off the top. And they're going to lose a Druis Worm. They'll grab a Smiting Storm. Interesting to see the Legacia in the deck, but I guess it makes sense. It kind of just opens up what you can and can't do. Coral Dragon conveniently being a level 6 tuner. We'll fire off Smiting Storm here. And we'll see what they decide to summon. Because at this point with the deck, it's more like you're not really summoning the Runick monsters to use their effects. They're more just like non-tuner bodies. But they are going to go ahead and use Hugin here, and they are going to use Fountain. So they're going to grab another copy of Fountain. And they'll be able to put back 3 here for the draw 3. So we've drawn 5 cards this turn for Bystial Runick. And I can only imagine that there's at least a lot of Runick spells in hand, or hand traps, one or the other. But it looks like only 2 Runick spells, one of them being Tip, which, I mean, of course, can be any other Runick spell that they need. So pretty solid draw there. And then the other one looked to be Freezing Curses. We still see that Saronir in hand. And I couldn't tell if that was another Quem in the hand. They're going to go ahead and summon Saronir. And they're going to banish a Quem. And then they're going to go ahead and use Bystial Lubellion Engraved, setting off the Saronir. And they can get Saronir effect here. See what they do. So no Saronir effect. But now they're going to go ahead and use Bystial Lubellion to go ahead and grab a spell or trap from the deck. Going to go for Branded Regain. Both decks on this card. Kind of a custom card if you ask me. And now they're going to go ahead and probably, let's see here, maybe make an SP Little Knight. I don't see a reason to go for something like Chaos Angel here, so they're just going to go for SP Little Knight. And, you know, it's kind of interesting to see that they decided to go for the Synchro 12 route of Legacia just for that extra resource gain and that draw 2. Instead of trying to set up some sort of, you know, interruption. Cool play happening there, though. SP banishing their own Hugin to trigger their regain to draw a 6th card. Looks like they pick up a copy of Golden Sword Soul. Which, I don't know what that card does. I'm pretty sure it's just a part of the Synchro climb for the deck. And end phase, they're going to, both players actually resolving their Magnamuts, grabbing a copy of Baldrake and a copy of Saronir for the Dragon Link player. So they've got Tip, and I think that's Freezing Curses, one set. And, yeah, they've got Fountain established. They've got SP Little Knight. It's not the craziest end board, but we'll see what our Dragon Link player can do here. I believe I'm also currently playing my top 4 match behind this table. Little side note. So they'll start off with Regained. Yeah, they've got Baldrake, Tip. Got quite a few interruptions lined up here for them. So they're going to go ahead and activate Tip. Looks like on resolution of the Regain, they're going to add a copy of Destruction. They will lose a copy of Vision Resonator off the top. And asking the other player if they'd like to use their Regained to go ahead and put back and draw. They will choose not to. They're going to normal summon Starleaf Seifert. And yeah, they decided to set the Freezing Curses. Probably just in case something happens to the Fountain. They want to still have a way to interact with the opponent. Makes perfect sense. So Freezing Curses getting used on the Seifert, and then they'll go ahead and banish 3 off the top, double Bell, and Droll. And then Fountain will go ahead and attempt to fire off for 2 here. For some reason, part of me thinks that Freezing Curse is only on special summon monsters, but I don't think that's the case. So now they're going to go ahead and Synchro 10 into Chaos Angel. There it is. See, it caught me off guard yet again. On how that you just don't need a tuner for that. You just need a light and dark. And I'm going to pull up Freezing Curses. Yeah, target 1 effect monster. Okay, it doesn't have to be special summoned. And it looks like on summon of Chaos Angel, they're going to use their Regained to target Magnamut. And they're going to chain Saronir on their Magnamut, obviously trying to deny them of that surge. And this might force the Baldrake on their own Magnamut to make it so their Saronir won't summon, but they're going to chain Destruction. That is true. He did know. He did know. But sometimes you just be having amnesia. And lose another top 4 cards there. There's some side deck cards that they probably would have liked to see. And now their Regain getting to fire off here, putting back that banished Magnamut and drawing 1. They still have Imseti, but they've already got King Sark. But they're just going to go ahead and use it here anyways, because why not set up both those cards in the graveyard and get a draw 1? That card is just custom enough. Free 3k body, plus they've already got Saronir on field, which is perfect fodder for the Bystial Rebellion. They'll draw 1. And Okay. Some context there I didn't know myself. Again, another reason to potentially like doing feature matches this way. Also, I guess another thing is I can't speed them up. Otherwise, they would sound like mice. But yeah, Legacia protecting SP Little Knight. Because it's under 2,000 attack. Can't be destroyed by battle. It's kind of huge, actually. We'll get that draw 1. Looks like they drew White Dragon. And looks like on the resolution there, they fire off their Baldrake on the Lubellion, realizing they can't let that Lubellion fly, because it's got the perfect target there, Sarnir, to send.
I know it's the effect alien tribute banish one. Is that when it's if you special summon from the extra deck, I tribute another light or dark I control to banish that summoned monster.
Well, there you go. There's the effect of Baldrake. I hope you guys could hear that. I tried to balance the audio the best I could before I started this. I believe Legacia is also chilling at 3,500. So, make of that what you will. But Chaos Angel, on the other hand, is also at 3,500. Now they're going to fire off King's Sarcophagus. And they've already used Destruction this turn, so it's going to be pretty much safe from any Runick spell. And actually, they don't even have to worry about any Runick spells anymore, because they were able to clear the fountain. So they're going to discard White, dumping Happy. And just like that, 2 free level 8 bodies can now hit the field. And maybe we'll see. Yeah, they've used Freezing Curses and Destruction already this turn. And again, they have no more interaction in the turn of the Runick cards. So, they're going to go Battle Phase, Chaos Angel, crash into Legacia. And it can't die because it was using a light and a dark, which is also huge. So just get to clear the Legacia, attack over SP Little Knight, attack over the Baldrake, and then Sarnir swinging in for 25. Putting them down to 4,100. Plenty of options here in the extra deck now in main phase 2. I mean, I was going to, for some reason I want to say, oh, they could just go into like a rank 8 play or something like Zombie Vampire, but, you know, IP into SP sounds kind of nice. Of course, Dark, the Dark Charmer, Gloomy is always on the table. They could take the Little Knight, as they just said. Plenty of options here. I mean, they technically could go, I was gonna say they could go Dark into taking their SP and then make, I guess at that point, I mean, you can still make an IP if they're playing something like Unicorn. But they're going to go ahead and link off Sarnir and the Chaos Angel. Dark will take SP, and they'll use the SP effect and go ahead and banish the regain. And I just want to check SP, because I don't know if they actually can use SP effect if it's something like that. Yeah, if this card is link summon using a fusion synchro, yeah, so they can't. They shouldn't have been able to banish the. They shouldn't be able to banish the regain there because it was just special summoned. But it looks like they end up just making their own SP anyways, so they could have still gotten rid of it technically. Yeah, so their SP will get put back in their grave. And they're going to go ahead and pass turn. I mean, they have a ton of cards in hand. That's the biggest issue here. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 7 cards. And the only thing they have to worry about is SP Little Knight. I mean, you got to worry about Imseti and Happy somewhat. But, you know, that's only if they play into it. So they're going to go ahead and grab a Magnamut off the Lubellion. The Magnamut that was put back off the regain the previous turn. Magnamut will banish the Chaos Angel. And they'll use Magnamut effects, seeing if they have a response to Magnamut. Tough decision here because, like, if they let it walk, you know, then they can just battle phase attack over while they still have a battle phase. Or they could just use it now and not give them the opportunity to do that. But, I mean, it's almost better you let them use the battle phase early, because that means you get another turn at least. But if they use a Runick spell anyways, you're going to get another turn, I guess, either way. They'll play Fountain, activate Tip. Grab Freezing Curses. They'll lose a Safer off the top. No effective fountain there. Golden Droplet, I believe. Or Runick Slumber, not Golden Droplet. Slumber. I've been calling that one Golden Droplet. So Ecclesia will get brought back. And then they'll get to draw 3. I'm not sure how Ecclesia is getting brought back. I'm gonna have to, I don't know if it's Quem doing that, or if it's, let's see here. Let's see Quem. They go into Cheng Ying. Makes sense, though. You can send, if a card leaves the extra deck, target a Fallen of Albaz or a monster that mentioned in your graveyard except Quem, special summon. Okay, so it is Quem. Makes sense. So they summon Saronir by banishing Magnamut. We'll see if they want to chain Cheng Ying. Yep, they will. Banish 1 from field, 1 from grave. And it's also gaining 100 attack and defense for every banished card. And the opponent's monsters are losing 100 attack and defense for every card banished as well. And that number just went up by 2 more cards. And yeah, they're actively playing into the... Yeah, this is actually huge here. I mean, it doesn't matter so much. They do have the Freezing Curses for the Happy. But Imseti still has the opportunity to send a card. So they'll get rid of the fountain. Yeah, I was gonna say they do play into the effects of both Imseti and Happy there, but they do have the Freezing Curses at least to stop the Happy, because that effect is honestly very scary, especially considering how many cards have been banished this turn, this game in general, because of the Runick spells. They could pretty much add any 2 cards from their deck to their hand when you look at it that way. And they bring out the level 4 to go for a Chaos Angel of their own. And then Chaos Angel will banish the Imseti. And Saronir will send a Bystial Rebellion, and they're going to go ahead and admit defeat. I mean, yeah, they just had so much gas in their hand. The Dragon Link deck was able to play through the board, no problem, but it's just a matter of being able to put up enough at the end of it to stop the tons of follow-up they had. So let's go ahead and take a look at Game 3. All right, so here we are in Game 3. Also, quick shout-out to Imperium Duelist, guys. Check them out at the link below. They've just came out with a brand new deck box, Demon Slayer themed deck box, and some new sleeves. One of my favorite sleeves they just dropped, apart from the SP Little Knight sleeves, are their new Magical Hat border sleeves. They also got Magical Cylinder in there as well, I just noticed. But Magical Hat's just low-key one of my favorite cards ever. I don't know why. Great aesthetic. And if you like that card too, Magical Cylinder, they're on border sleeves now on their site, alongside a bunch of other amazing products. And if you do go on their website, I haven't mentioned this yet, but you may notice some videos on their website that were maybe, designed and filmed and edited by yours truly. So if you want to go check that out, feel free to. Link to the site down below, and a discount code, WinterKills10 off, you can use at checkout to save 10% off your entire order and support the channel in the process. And if you guys are buying anything on TCG Player, please feel free to use my affiliate link down in the description below. And no extra cost to you. You can help support the channel. Just buying and, shopping and checking out like you normally would. Just using that link. So, yeah, for the first time this match, we're going to see the Bystial Dragon Link deck get to go first. They do get drolled on the resolution of the Imseti, which does cut them off a search off from the Vision Resonator there. Droll and Lockbird just inherently going to put in a lot of work against this particular deck, but the Horus engine is going to make it a little bit more resilient. And they're just going to bring out Imseti, bring out Happy, and they're just going to go ahead and pass on that. Yeah, so if another card they control leaves the field by card effect while they're face up in the monster zone, they get their 2 respective effects, which is to add 2 cards that are banished or in the grave back to the hand or shuffle them back into the deck. And Imseti is just to get to send a card. Tip will go ahead and search, and they'll make him banish 1. They banish Tidying. Playing some OG Dragon Maid cards. Special summon Ecclesia, Ecclesia effect. I mean, the fact that Ecclesia doesn't take up a normal summon here has got to be super clutch, going for the Golden Sword Soul. Which I think is just a level 4 tuner body. And may also have a relevant graveyard effect, which I could pull up here. Yeah, the Golden Sword Soul. If a monster is banished face up, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard, especially someone light spellcaster monster from your hand or graveyard whose attack equals its own defense. So yeah, it does have a graveyard effect. So they'll play Fountain, and they're going to activate Slumber. And choosing to special summon here. Hugin. See if they use the effect. Yep, they will. So they'll discard Destruction, and then add Fountain, and then Fountain effect, putting back 3 to draw 3. Slumber and Quem. Oh no, only drawing 2 there. And they're going to get hit with Droll and Lockbird on resolution. Nah, I was going to say, I don't really know how much that hurts them at this point. I mean, it shuts off whatever Synchro 6 play that we're going to go into, cutting off draws from Charge Warrior and, not Charge Warrior, Triage Master and Coral Dragon. They'll normal summon that Quem, and that's going to go ahead and dump the Bystial Aliber. Which, might want to go ahead and read that card. It says, send this card to the graveyard, and if you do, take control of that other monster until the end phase. You can discard 1 card, then target 1 dragon monster your opponent controls are in the graveyard, activate their appropriate effect, the appropriate effect. Discard normal summon, you can discard a card. Okay, yeah, I don't think that effect's too relevant here, but... So they're going to go ahead and synchro here, and... They're going to try to trigger the effect of Quem to bring back. And I think they targeted the Bystial Aliber. And that's going to get hit by the Druis Worm. And again, they're going to get to use that secret effect of Golden Sword Soul there to bring back Ecclesia. Spellcaster's attack equals its own defense. And yeah, as you just mentioned there, they've got... all tuners there. They'll use Coral Dragon to discard and pop the Happy, and then they're going to chain Flashing Fire to pop the Imseti. And yeah, as you mentioned earlier, all his effects that are removal or destruction effects, they all target, so the protection of the King Sarcophagus doesn't really matter too much here. Yeah, and they cannot use Fountain there. They can't just return and then not draw. But they're just kind of left with a little bit of an awkward board here. Again, like you said earlier, the Dragon Link player mentioned, they've got a whole bunch of tuners on field, lacking non-tuners. And no cards left in hand, completely strung out on card advantage. And they could go for an SP Little Knight here, which I think you do have to do because you cannot let them keep King Sarcophagus in a game state like this because you could literally just lose the game next turn on damage. And they will go SP, getting rid of the Sarcophagus, and then they're going to go ahead and link again. Let's see what they're going to go for here. Looks like for Dark Charmer, they're going to target Imseti. Skip battle phase and pass turn. They draw Ash Blossom for turn. Not the greatest draw in the world. And they have White Dragon still, which could be just enough to get things rolling here. Considering they have Black Dragon engraved, they have Striker Dragon in the extra deck, they have a Chaos Angel play. And yeah, Chaos Angel getting summoned with a light and a dark, and getting Druis Worm effect could open up a lot here. They've got no cards in hand, so again, they don't have to worry about any Runick plays. And yes, they will go for that Chaos Angel line. Yeah, they're not even going to go after the fountain here. They realize it's not a threat, so they're just going to banish Dark and send him SETI. And I think the only thing you can do here is just battle phase, so they'll swing in for 35.
Was there any damage before that or no?
Yeah, that is first damage, I believe. Leave him to 45. They have Ash in hand. And they're going to top deck a Runick Destruction here. And then they're going to have to use Fountain here. And Fountain ashing this will be huge. That is... Like, that Ash right there is the difference between winning and losing this game right now. And they draw Lubellion for turn. That's insane. That's a top deck right there. Heart of the card, certainly with our Dragon Link player. They're going to go ahead and grab Magnamut. And they get the whole pick of the graveyard here for their Magnamut. They're going to get rid of Ecclesia. And then Magnamut effect, Lubellion effect to send it off, and then effect to go ahead and search. We'll activate from the deck. They're going to grab a Branded Regained. And not so much else they can do here. Just kind of a slow grind game here. And is there something...
It was destroyed by battle.
Yeah, okay. First...
So did you want to attack with the Lubellion first?
Yeah, I was a little confused there too. I was like, wait a second, do I need to pull up Chaos Angel? But yeah, they're gonna attack. Leave them at 1,000. And then yeah, end phase, getting their Druis Worm. Yeah, little confusion there on the actual effect of Hugin. But now at this point, they really don't have any interruptions. It's just advantage, really. Having Druis Worm, though, with Regained up, does give them a chance to potentially play on the opponent's turn. And they're going to go ahead and fire off a Flashing Fire to pop the Chaos Angel. Make them banish 2. And this could trigger their Regained here. They still have a Druis Worm. This is going to be their one chance at trying to get back into the game. They will choose to Chainlink 2 Regain, putting back Imseti. One player drawing 3, the other drawing 1. They drew Ash Blossom. Just go ahead and offer the cut there. Doesn't really matter. They draw into Seifert, so that is follow-up. They draw into another Flashing Fire. They have Serenir, which can get checked by the opponent's Druis Worm. And the Ash, a little bit too late on that Ash Blossom, honestly. And it's a bit unfortunate they already used Flashing Fire. So they'll just skip battle phase and pass. No real reason to try to fire off the Saronir there. Especially... Well, actually, if they fired off Saronir there, they can't change Druis Worm response because they wouldn't have any monsters on field, making it not a quick effect. And then I don't know if there's something they could have possibly done there. But they're going to normal summon Starly Seifert. And I imagine the Seifert's going to get ashed. That would be my my guess. I mean, they just have game here anyways. They just don't know it. Lubellion could just swing. They try to block with the... Well, I guess no. Again, because they have no monsters on field. Again, those Bystials are only quick effects if the opponent controls a monster. So they will just not use the effect of Seifert. Going for Striker Dragon. Going for SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight will target Fountain, which is pretty big here because that'll cut them off of a whole heck of a lot here. And it will force them to use Flashing Fire. If they want to use it this turn anyways, that is. And I mean, the only thing they're doing is popping the Little Knight, which I guess gets it out of circulation. So they're just going to go ahead and chain to special. Bringing out Gary. And Jerry will target Fountain. Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense too. Okay. Yeah. So they can get Regained effect here.
So that'll be chain 1, this will be chain 2 target. Do you want to SP
So not using SP Little Knight there. And they're going to attempt to use Druis Worm. Or no, the Druis Worm was summoned off the regain, rather. Okay. And then Lubellion sending off Druis Worm. Druis Worm effect tempting to send the Gary to the grave. That will resolve. Yeah, Gary only gets its other effect to pop a card, I believe, if it's destroyed. They cannot attack because of SP Little Knight. Top 4 of a tournament, we're forgetting that. I mean, I've forgotten it myself. So the game actually shouldn't be over here unless I'm missing something, which is also very plausible. So they're just gonna let that walk. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't stop them from going to the battle phase. They just can't attack directly. They'll use regain there to put back and draw. They will crash. And they'll just give him the Sarnir effect to dump a Lubellion. This is a tricky tricky game state because it looked like they had game very, very easily, but it's just the fact that they had that Bystial in hand. Unless they had a way just to get over it, crash, and still attack in, because they only had to deal 1,000 damage. Lubellion getting ashed and grave and the discard effect, and they're just gonna pass. I feel like there definitely was a way to game there. Activate Fountain, activate Tip. Time is coming down, I should also mention. This match has been going on long enough. Banish the skill drain. And Fountain to draw 3. The fact that they don't have a battle phase is definitely not helping them here. They do need to make up quite a big life point deficit. Draw 3. They do draw Quem. They draw Lubellion. They'll use Lubellion. And they're going to grab Druis Worm. But I don't know that they'll be able to do anything here. I think if you're the Dragon Link player, yeah, there's 1 minute left on the clock. Regain effect. Yep. Whole lot of Dragon Link, or sorry, Bystial plays happening here. Bystial dodging Bystial. They'll get their regain draw. They're going to fusion summon here for Hugin. And they do not have a target for Quem there, as they thought they did. No Quem effect. And they're going to just go ahead and Synchro 6 into Triad Master, draw 1. And again, I think there really is no way out of this. Like, if you're the Dragon Link player, you're just... Yeah, I mean... He wants that hospitality. But, yeah, battle phase, and there's the handshake. So we're going to see Bystial Horus take it. The finals ended up being against Rescue Ace and Bystial Horus. They did split, so there isn't a final, so this is kind of the finals. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think about doing this feature match this way. Let me know if you want to see something like this in the future. And last but not least, a big shout out goes to our current Divine level channel members, who are Cadillacs, Misfit, HC8 Cyber, Pony Star Green, and Robin's Assistant. Thank you guys so much as always for your extremely kind and very generous support of the channel.